Oh, welcome back. Well, I use my little circular light thing, selfie light thing for my videos, and I also use it for when I am resurfacing the disk media that I need to resurface. So I figure I'll just go ahead and make a video of, and this is going to be cut and edited quite a bit, so you're not watching and listening to every single disc get resurfaced. And since my camera so close and the camera's right here, keep looking over here, looking at that, it's visually weird. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through most from these big comfy couch ones. These are to beyond repairs. They've just been sitting here waiting for me to do something with them, put them in a big comfy couch lot that, these are acceptable. I think one is cracked. All the other one, I think one's in decent condition, but I'm just gonna put them all together. But all these in this game here, maybe I'm gonna try again. But most of all this other stuff is just things that I have picked up, like this Mario Party 8. All this stuff here is just stuff that I picked up of recent. And if you look at the theme, kids, 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 don't know, kids. Well, that's not really kids. That's let's see. It's still an anime, more of a manga. Kids, 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 kid, kind of kids. I mean, you can consider that kids, kids. So these are all children's discs. I'm gonna go ahead and get to what I can there and spin a bunch of those and kind of show some differences of the conditions of some. The entire video is not going to be me spinning and resurfacing one and then putting it at the camera, but like this is what it looked like before, and then this is what it looks like after. I'll just pick a couple of the ones that are in worse condition, and I'll show this is the worst condition, and then I'll run it through the resurfacer a couple times and see what happens, and then show that to you. So incidentally, first one has this pretty hefty scratch in it, and this is a 2-disc set. And I am not exactly eye level with this right now. So it's real difficult for me to see how well the image is going through the camera. However, you should be able to make out that scratch no matter what. It's a pretty hefty scratch. I can tell you right now that that is not going to be, with my machine, it's not going to be able to be, because even with my my fingernails are non-existent, I can feel my feet, what little nail I have clip on that. That is beyond. So I know that was done. There's the next one. So this is probably a $30 CD. There's some pretty hefty, not as bad as the other one. These are Surface. So I'm going to run this on at least a 30-second and see how well it turns out, and then go from that and run it on a minute and see how well it turns out. And then depending on how that is, I will then either try one more time or just be like, nope. If everything else is really, really good, but it still has a couple harsh ones, I'll list it as acceptable or good. Very, very few that I'll spin. Some of these just need to be like heavy fingerprints are on them. Some of them just need to be cleaned. But these are scratched, right? So I'll see what happens here. This is I think this is called Mignette. See what happens. So this is the first spin, 30 seconds. And obviously you're not going to be seeing it quite as well as I am. But there's some pretty... I could probably get away with running it for a minute and straighten this one up. Well, it's not bent, but get it much, much better because everything else turned out pretty well besides one little section here. So if I can clean these up, this will be a very good listable. If not, it will be good, and then I'll just write on there it's been resurfaced. That one is a combination of needs cleaned and has scratches. You can see right here, that's like fingerprints and stuff, and you can see right here, and that's a bunch of little scratches. See what happens. All right, so that one you can see has been run through a resurfacer and still has some right down here. This will go in for a minute and see how it turns out. If it turns out well enough, this is about 50 bucks. Maybe less. I don't remember a bunch of these. Most of the time, if it's going to be something that I buy that's disc and needs to be redone, that will have to go through at least a couple times. They have to be $30, $40. So if I remember right, this one is 40 to 50 bucks. All right, so ultimately, there are the resurface pad scuffs all over it. You see them. There's some that are absolutely uniform, but that's just all surface resurfacer scuffs. So this one will be listed as good because of all that. Although it is just surface, there's way more than just a few. If it was just a few, I would list it as very good, but this is good, has been resurfaced. And I can claim that even better because it's an X library. And this is Barney, Everyone is Special. And that one has some rough scratches on it. Some real good one here, but they are not as bad as that first one that I showed you that was like my fingernail was getting caught under. Usually visually I could tell if it's a deeper scratch or otherwise. And these ones, this one is about the harshest one. So this is going to be a good one to see what happens. So this one I will put on for a minute and then wipe it down and look at it in maybe another minute. And that would be it. If I can't, whatever turns out after those 2 minute spins, that's the way it's going to be. Unless I have something that is 70, 80, 100, I'll make that decision. But if it's much higher, I'll try again. But I'm able to tell how much it's going to work and how much it's going to make it better by just 2 spins, let alone one. So if I put it on the first one, I can see that a lot of this stuff didn't come out. That's it. I'm done. And I will just take a picture and just list it as acceptable. All right, so this one, I believe I can run again and get most of a lot of these other non-resurfacer pad scuffs off. So I can see them all over. And a lot of these are just a circular resurface pad. So this one still has a couple of the harsh ones in it. And a lot of these markings are not from the resurfacer. So this will be listed as acceptable. Go from there. So like I said, I'm not going to do a whole video of going through all of them. So just going to stop it there. This is maybe once a month what I'll do. Usually when I get to 20, 25 of them or so. It's just one of those things that they do take roughly 3 minutes each. I'm not making a video, we're about 3 minutes each. So it is over an hour. So if you just let them stack up when you're only doing one at a time, it can burn a lot of time if you have 50 to do. So I just find it easier, just get like 15, 20, no more than that. As soon as it gets to this height, being that as soon as it gets to the same, roughly level height, had a couple more up there, but there's these 4 or 5 that are down here that would not be resurfaced today. So I got, that's probably 15, 18 maybe. Well, there's that. I'm going to do that. And those will be in a little separate area. And then I will just picture and list those separately. That way I don't have to change much of anything when I'm doing the listings, such as these have been resurfaced. There's surface scuffs or resurfacer scuffs along those lines, and go from there. They do sell, just not as fast. If you can get them to look really good, all the more better. There's that. Just nature of the beast of disc media, of which I just bought that machine a couple months ago. But like what you heard, like what you saw, feel free to comment, thummy thingy. Subscribe, share. It's all free. Appreciate it.